Hey guys, this is Meredith at the LymeCompass.net blog, and I wanted to talk to you guys about St. John Wort. This plant magically blooms on summer solstice day. It always just blows me away that the first blooms come on solstice. And this is Hypericum perforatum, and there are many different ornamental hypericums, but this one in particular is the one that we use medicinally. And if you go to the LymeCompass.net blog, I will show you some up-close pictures of the oils inside the flowers and leaves, which is just fascinating to me. But basically, this Hypericum, I'll just grab a couple of flower buds here, has this incredible oil in it, and it will stain red. My fingers are starting to get purpley red here. But see that amazing red? Oh, that's awesome. That's incredible medicine right there. And this plant is an amazing antiviral. It is anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and it's an antidepressant. A lot of people will use St. John Wort to help lift the spirits or get through a difficult time. It helps raise the serotonin levels. Sometimes it can take 2 to 3 weeks of usage, much like many pharmaceutical antidepressants. It can take some time for things to sort of even out for you to see a difference that it's working. So, give it some time before you may feel a great difference on it. Let's see, it can really help with irritability, with tension, with insomnia. But also, this is an amazing plant for the nervous system. My herbal teacher would always call this the arnica of the nerves. And basically, any nerve issue, any neuropathy or nerve issue that you're dealing with, be it like sciatica or any kind of nerve pain. People use it for carpal tunnel syndrome. Any TMJ, any kind of nerve thing that is going on, the St. John Wort can really help with. And basically, we're using the flowering tips as medicine. So you can see the buds forming here. And I am going to be checking these buds, checking these plants every day. And just as the flowers open, I'm going to be clipping the tips, and I can jar this up and tincture it with 60% alcohol, or I can make a topical oil. This is amazing topically for burns. I always have St. John Wort oil in my first aid kit, and or when you're having nerve pain, you can use it topically in that area as well as internally. It can make some people, especially fair-skinned people, more light or photosensitive. So always check in with your physician about using St. John Wort if you're already on doxycycline, or if you're doing laser therapies or things like that. Or I'm also curious about the red light therapy that some people are doing. I'm wondering if this might mess with those therapies. But in realms of burns from sunburns, or even radiation burns for people undergoing radiation with cancer, St. John Wort oil topically has been really amazing. Let's see. So we'll be cutting these tips back, and I'll just show a super quick example of these ones. I usually do this with scissors, but oh well. Excuse me, Mr. Insect. Thank you. Some of the tips are okay, but the flowers are what you really want. And basically, I'm just going to make a tiny little bit of Hypericum oil for first aid kit or for when sciatica issues start to come up. I can use this topically. So I'm just going to pour some, woo! Butterfingers. Just going to pour some olive oil over the top here. And can add even the tiny bits of buds in here. A little bit more leaf. And I'm going to break this off and just push this down. You want all your plant material covered. And this is a funny thing. Most oils that I make, I want to keep out of sunshine. I don't want the sun exposure to destroy the medicinal properties of the oil. And usually I'll put like my calendula oil or violet oils, things like that, in a somewhat warm spot, but not in direct sunlight. But the St. John Wort, actually, the light actually helps extract some of that medicine. And so I'll just set this up on the edge of the porch here and leave it in the sun, and the sun's warmth and light will extract, and just within a few hours this will be like an amazing red oil. And same thing happens with the tincture. The tincture will take the flowering tips, tincture it at 60%, and before you know it, your tincture is red. What else can I tell you? Cutting back these tips, you'll get more flowers, and it's best to harvest them in the early morning, just as they're opening. And yeah, St. John's Wort can really help us just get out of the funk, deal with nerve pain, and I can share a little personal story. Sometimes I don't ever want these videos to be about me, but sometimes hearing personal stories can help. I was super excited about trying IV ozone. I thought, okay, I'm really gonna recover this time. I'm gonna kick it. And I tried IV ozone, and I don't know what or why, but I had terrible reactions to IV ozone. I thought at first, oh, this is a Herx, and then it just went on and on and on and on, and I felt like my world was like turning gray. And I don't ever think of myself as like a depressed person. I've always tried to find the blessing in the challenge, or to look at the bright side, or make the best of the situation. But during IV ozone, I fell into such a dark place. I like gained 20 pounds. I just like, everything lost its joy. It was a very, very weird experience for me. And I'm recovering from that and trying to get my body back to where it was. And also just like the quality of my thinking. I felt like my brain turned to like molasses. And I'm using St. John's Wort right now to up the serotonin levels, to be able to think and remember words and finish sentences and stop slurring my speech so much. I'm really grateful for this plant. I feel like it's really helping me to regain the oomph of life again. And this is a plant that doesn't dry well. If you're buying Hypericum capsules that are made from dried St. John's Wort, you're really not getting good medicine. You want tincture made from fresh medicine, or I have no financial affiliation with this company, but Gaia Herbs in Hendersonville, North Carolina, they make a Hypericum liquid capsule, and basically what they do is they take the flowering tips and they run it through a blender with glycerin, and then they sieve out the plant material, and then they capsulate the St. John's Wort infused glycerin into capsules. And those are wonderful because you're getting the benefits of the fresh plant, and you're able to take it in a capsule. And taking it in a tincture it's not terrible tasting, but for those of you that are avoiding alcohol, those liquid caps could be a way of taking it. And as always, check with your physician or healthcare provider, because like I said, the photosensitivity can possibly mess with some medicines that you're on. But this definitely lifted my spirits a bit. And I can think clearly enough to make these videos. You might have a different opinion about that, but nevertheless, I'm trying. So, St. John's Wort. Thanks, guys.